I met Jason at the one hotel and he's like, hey, we are opening an office in Orange County. And I'm like, whoa, this is like a godsend. Anybody to become successful, all you need is yourself and God.
You're going to get rejected in every area of your life.
Oh yeah.
There's no getting around it.
Go straight to the money. Like, go to that $2.5 million home. It's his plan, and you have to believe it. If you don't, you're not going to overcome that pain or fear. Right. Using those things that have happened in our life can be the most powerful superpower.
Yeah. Thank you so much for tuning back in. I'm really excited for this episode today. You may have heard her. You may have seen her. One of the stars of Selling the OC on Netflix, and she's also a full-time luxury realtor, pretty much all over California, but in Orange County. I'm so excited. One of my castmates and good friend, Miss Alexandra Rose. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of you. This is so cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. You seem like you're a natural at this. Oh. I can never do it. I can't. Public speak. I can barely put a sentence together sometimes.
Yeah. Well, it's okay. It didn't happen overnight. I could tell you that much. Because I think I told you I started my podcast back in 2019. Right. I was off for it, completely fell off. And then speaking more on stages, just kind of getting over that hump, that fear. Because I used to shake and get scared. And I'm a perfectionist. Same. Yeah, I'm a perfectionist. So I always feel like I have to say the right things, ask the right questions. And then I'm not paying attention. And it's not being real or authentic. So I'm actually just... everything happens in the way that is supposed to happen.
As long as you believe it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So anyways, thank you. And I'm so excited that you're here.
I know, me too.
Yeah.
We were just together yesterday.
Yeah.
Door knocking.
Yeah, I know. Was it yesterday?
Wait, was it yesterday?
Yeah, no, it's 2 days ago.
It's okay. It feels like yesterday.
I know. We have, we'll talk more about work stuff, but not right now. But I'm really excited for today because, as you guys have seen, obviously on Selling the OC, she shared a little bit about her story, but we never really got super deep into it. And if we did, they didn't show those scenes. And I think those stories of you opening up who Alexandra Rose is really, really important for people to know who you are, where you come from, your story, which is so incredibly powerful. We have somewhat of a similar story, but yours is just like, wow. And anyway, so I would love to dig deep into that and just kind of hear from you about your childhood experiences and everything you've gone through and, you know, up to where how you came to who you are today.
Well, where should I start? Both of my biological parents are homeless, on the streets, drug addicts still.
I didn't know it was both.
Yeah.
You would talk about your mom more.
Yeah, they're both homeless, and the state of California took me away when I was just a little girl because of how bad it was. You know, we were on the streets, we were in and out of hotels. You know, I'd be locked up in the closets while they were, you know, doing drugs, and there was, you know, a lot going on. So the state finally came in and took me and my little brother away and put us in foster care, actually at Orangewood. Orangewood is a great organization in Orange, and they help foster youth and human trafficking. And I'm actually getting involved with them because they saved me as a little girl. If it weren't for them, I would probably be, you know, homeless and a drug addict. But I was in foster care till I was about 5, and my mom and my dad, my adoptive dad, they came in and they saw my brother and I and fell in love with us and decided they wanted to adopt us. And so I was adopted, and my biological mother decided to have like 3 more kids. So my adoptive parents adopted all of them. Like every time she'd have a kid, because the state wouldn't let her keep the child. Wow. So my adoptive parents adopted them all. I have one other brother that I didn't grow up with. He's older. He has a different dad, so his dad took him away. He's about 10 years older than me, and I didn't meet him till I was 18. So, you know, as a baby, as a little girl, you know, anybody, they want love. They want to be loved. They want to be adored. That's something that I never was given. And so,
the thoughts of your parents giving you up probably started that I'm undeserving. Why don't you want me? Is that kind of what you were going through?
Well, it didn't. When you like go through that as a kid, that's all you've ever known.
Yeah.
So you don't really realize like that until you're older. Like I'm just starting to realize like all those traumas are like coming like into my life now. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's okay, because especially the listeners, or people that I keep saying listeners, but you guys are going to be watching now, which I'm excited. But it's okay to speak about that. And because we don't realize that until we get into our adult years.
Yeah. You don't realize it too when you get into like a relationship. Your childhood trauma starts to come out.
Ooh, because
and I never realized, because it's all I ever knew as a kid, and I didn't realize that was like not normal.
Yeah.
So
relationships are like a mirror.
They are, and you start to self-reflect, and you unfortunately, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I don't know why I'm so emotional.
It's okay.
I'm supposed to start my period tomorrow.
You told me. It's okay. And I get that too. The other day, I just started crying over, literally, like I spilled my water and I started bawling.
Yeah.
I was like, why am I crying so hard? I get that. It's okay. We all do. All the women watching, we all get it. I get it. But I also know that you're going through a lot right now. We don't have to go into that, but this is really important for people to hear, because we all have stories. We all go through things. And you're right. We don't really figure that out until our adult years, when we realize, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I'm struggling with this. I'm dealing with that. And it all starts with childhood trauma.
It all starts with childhood trauma.
It does. And we all carry all this baggage.
And you don't realize it until you're in a relationship, and and the way you treat somebody, like
or big events
comes out.
Yeah. Or big events that happen in your life, but relationships will definitely do that for you.
Right.
So may I ask, what have you been learning kind of more about yourself? This is exciting.
Yeah.
Because now it's like, this is a new layer that I could figure out about myself, so that I can learn to either fix it or maneuver it or pivot. This is growth right here.
Yes, it's growth, and it's self-reflective, and I'd rather it happen now than 10 years from now. I've just realized that I have a lot of abandonment issues. When I was 8, my adoptive dad died. So going from being given up as a little girl and being in foster care, not receiving any love, and then my adoptive dad dying. I remember as a little girl, after that happened, I was so scared that like my mom was gonna die, that my brothers were gonna die. I would go like into their rooms at night to make sure they were breathing. And so looking back, I was so scared they were going to like die.
How old were you?
I was 8.
See, that's a lot of like pressure on you, a lot of worry at such a young age, and to have those thoughts of your loved ones dying.
Yes. And and that comes up in like relationships now. I'm afraid the person's gonna leave, like even when it comes to friends or intimate relationships. You have that fear of abandonment, and it comes up, and I've started to realize I put like a guard up because I'm scared I'm gonna get hurt. But I'm glad that I'm realizing this now, because I shouldn't be acting like that. Just because of what happened in the past doesn't mean I should, be scared of rejection or be scared that someone's going to leave me, because that's not what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So I've, learned a lot this year, and
So let's thank you for sharing and opening up about that. This is what Pain to Power is all about. Opening up, being vulnerable. I had other guests on, last week, and they cried too. And thank you. It's very powerful. So But let's close the gap as far as, you know, after your adoption mother took you in, how did you get to basically where you at? How did you grow from that, get through that, and then end up in luxury real estate, and then of course at the Oppenheim Group? Where how did everything lead up to where you're at today?
Well, my adoptive mom and I never had a good relationship. You know, when my dad died, she shut down, and she did not, you know, show me much, you know, love. I still love her, no matter what.
Yeah.
We all cope with trauma differently, and she coped with it by shutting down. And, you know, I think that kind of helped me as a child, because I wanted to like get out. I wanted to go do something big. I knew that there was a bigger picture in my life. You know, I had a horrible childhood, but I would have not wanted it I wouldn't have wanted it to be like, sorry, what am I trying to say? I wouldn't have wanted it to be any other way.
You wouldn't change anything.
I wouldn't change anything, because it really gave me the motivation and the ambition that, you know, if I came from some wealthy, loving family, I don't think I would have had the drive, the persistence that I have today.
You are one of the hardest working people that I know.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I know that.
Thank you. I knew something else was out there for me. And when I turned 18, I got up and I left Texas, came to California, and I was born in California.
Okay, but then you moved to Texas.
Moved to Texas when I was 10. When my dad died, my mom sold the house, moved to Texas for a better life. I get it. It's, you know, it's much less expensive than California. So
especially back then.
Back then, yeah. I remember my mom bought it was a 4,000 square foot house, you know, for $130,000.
Wow.
Now it's probably worth, you know, like 400.
Does she still live in that
She
house?
still lives there with my brothers. They're all younger.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way. And it's the reason why I am where I'm at, is because of all of those things that have happened to me.
Yeah.
And I thank God every day that He's had my back. He's been there for me. He's protected me, and He's given me a mindset that I'm so grateful for, because a lot of kids that go through the foster care system that get given up, they do turn into just like their parents. Yeah. It's really sad. And so God has really, really had my back, and I love Him, and I pray and thank Him every single night.
Did you always have a relationship with God, even when you were going through those darkest moments?
I grew up Christian, went to church, but I really didn't get as close to God as I am with Him today.
When did you start really having that deeper connection?
I think in the past year, I've been reading the Bible trying to every night. I pray on my knees every single night.
God's been working this past year. I could tell. Have you noticed a difference in a lot of people? I feel like a lot more people are coming to God. I don't know if it's because I just came to God last summer, so my eyes are open now. Like, I feel like for the first time, I'm awake.
I think a lot of people are. I think in the Bible, what's happening in this world aligns with the end of time. So I think people are becoming aware that, like, God is real, and what's happening in the Bible, what's happened in the Bible is happening in real time.
I've noticed that too. I don't mind going down that road. Do you want to talk a little bit about that, with that? Because I'm an infant, so I'm kind of reading more. But what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think it's in Revelations. Don't quote me, but you know, it talks about the exponential knowledge and technology, and where we're at now is pretty freaky.
Yeah,
I mean, you could make babies in labs. You can, you know, AI, like
Yeah,
it's
it's taken over.
and it's only grown like in the past 100 years. How long how long has the earth existed? Billions of years.
Oh,
In the
the
past
last
100
10
years,
years. Last 10 years,
10,
right?
yeah, I
The
know. The
iPhone's
iPhone.
only 10 years old, maybe 15. Don't quote me on that one. But it's not that much. It's not that long. It's crazy. But no, a lot's happening. I think you're right. I think it's revelations.
It's revelations, and I think people are waking up, and I'm happy about it. And I
Yeah.
love that social media is able to showcase people's beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. And then you have more exposure to what people are talking about, especially online with social media, sharing their stories and everything they've gone through, miracles, bad things even, so
yeah, social media is good and bad.
yeah.
Depends on what route you go.
Right.
But overall, it's great for Christianity and your faith. And
Oh yeah.
what do you think? Why do you think people are becoming more
I,
open with their faith?
oh,
Or even like switching? I mean, there's a lot of atheists that are becoming Christians.
yeah. Well, as an atheist myself, I was
Mhm.
actually in New Age for many, many years. But I really believe that we're in a spiritual warfare right now. I think Satan is working overtime, and it's working
Yeah.
with everything. We can probably turn this into another episode if you're down to kind
Of course, yeah.
speak over everything that we're experiencing and seeing, and we can talk about we literally can bring our Bibles and say some scriptures and stuff, but that could be definitely for another time. But I would love to cover that because I haven't even done that yet on the show. So but yeah, I think I've noticed more and more people are coming to Jesus, and it's extremely powerful. Once it hits you, it is insane. Like, I literally was at church yesterday and I felt the Holy Spirit for the first time, not for the first time ever, because I felt the Holy Spirit before, but not at church. Wow. And at church, I was going to pass out. I didn't know what it was because I have a Bible mentor now. And and I told her my experience. I'm like, I don't know if it was like me wanting to pass out or if it was the coffee like hitting me. But then I was like, wait, I got chai latte or chai tea, which is barely any caffeine. I literally took 2 sips. There's only this much missing from and I was like, is this the coffee? She's like, nope, that was the Holy Spirit. I'm like, what do I do? She's like, you got to surrender to let yourself go.
Get on your knees. And
no, she was like, you got to let yourself pass out. I was like, oh my God. But you know how many people go to my church? I'm like, what if I hurt myself? Like, my son's going to freak out. So anyways, I told him, my son, my experience. I told my family members that I go to church with, hey, when this happens, I'm going to surrender and I'm going to allow myself to pass out. It's just, that's part of the journey. It's just learning to surrender yourself to God. And ever since then, I mean, I can go on and about it, but this is about you. This is not about me. But, so going back a little bit, how did you get into real estate? How did you get to the Oppenheim group? Like what's your story with that? Cause I'm sure a lot of people want to hear that.
Yeah. So when I moved to California, I was working at Nordstrom. And Nordstrom is a great company. Back then, it used to be really good. I don't know how it is now, but it was 100% commission. They taught you how to cold call. They taught you how to make relationships. And so I was there about 5 years. They taught me a lot. They were great. So I was working in the men's department the last 2 years at Nordstrom. And all the guys were like, God, you're so good at sales. You gotta get into real estate. And I always had it in the back of my mind. And I finally was like, okay, I'm going to get my license. I'm going to do this. And I got my license and I joined Sotheby's. That was the first brokerage I was at. And I just hit the pavement, I door knocked by myself. I cold called.
Did you have like teachers, mentors, coaches during when you first started?
I did have somebody prior before I got my license, and he mentored me a little bit, and then it just wasn't a good fit at his brokerage, so I went to Sotheby's, and he taught me a lot. And
at Sotheby's?
No, I mean, can I say people's names?
I wouldn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would just say there was a brokerage before I had my license I interned at, and that person really, really showed me the way to prospect and how to cold call and how to door knock.
Okay.
And then it wasn't a good fit to be at his brokerage, so I went to Sotheby's.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, I was 23. I had no friends. I had no boyfriend. I literally had no life. So I was, in the office till 7, 8, 9, cold calling, and I always remember those late calls. I'd always get leads. Like, people would always be impressed, and I would, there was one time I was so tired, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna make one more cold call because you just never know.
Yeah.
I made that call, and the guy ended up buying a house the next day for me that I showed him.
See, let that be a lesson.
Yeah.
What, just one more, you guys. When you're getting tired, that's the moment that you push through longer, harder, faster, whatever that is. Seriously, one more call, one more decision, like,
Because that's when God is going to gift you.
Yep. That
when
moment
you push past
yep.
your limits, He is going to bless you.
Yep.
And He sees that you're alone. He sees that you have no friends, that you have no boyfriend, but you're really, really trying to make something for yourself. He's going to bless you. And I look back at that, and I realized He was there for me and He had my back. I wasn't close with Him then, but he was guiding me.
Yeah.
And I just want to tell everyone out there, you don't need anybody to become successful. All you need is yourself and God and persistence and motivation and drive.
And just the simple believing in yourself.
Believing in yourself.
And just knowing that you got to make that decision, right? You can definitely have the right people around you to support you, absolutely, and help you catapult to where you are at. That's why having coaches, teachers, mentors is very important.
Right.
But it does start with you. You have to make that choice, and you did that.
Yes.
So I love that story.
Yeah, and I always wanted more. I
Yeah.
always wanted more in life from what I had come from, and I think that's where all that drive came from. And I want everyone to know, like, it doesn't matter where you come from.
Nope.
And if you come from the shittiest place, the worst childhood, the worst parents, like, use that as ammunition to become successful, because people that are wealthy, that own homes,
that have it easy,
that
given everything,
or well, what I'm trying to say is, like, in real estate, people that are billionaires and multimillionaires that I've met all loved seeing my drive, door knocking by myself, cold calling, and they're like, dang, that's what I used to do. I'm where I'm at because of what what you did. I did the same thing. Like, so a lot of those people are inspired,
and they have
and
respect for you,
and they have respect for you, and they want to work with you.
Yep.
They do.
Yeah.
They really do. That's what I realized. And I think that's where a lot of my success came from, is those people recognizing themselves and me when they were younger. And they want to help someone that's hitting the pavement by themselves.
Yeah.
They love that. And I think that's very important for people to know.
Absolutely.
Rich people don't respect other rich people just because they're rich. Rich people will respect someone that's door knocking by themselves, driving a year 2000 Camry. They're gonna want to help them than some douchey real estate agent driving a Ferrari.
That doesn't get the job done.
No, it's true.
I can name so many people.
There's so many flashy people. And some other advice I'd give new real estate agents is don't go buy that nice car. Keep your shitty car, because the people are going to want to work with you way more. They're going to respect you way more.
Really?
Yes. I remember my broker telling me, as one of the guys had a Ferrari.
Sorry, I'm laughing because I bought that nice car.
Yeah, but you have no. It's a Mercedes. I'm talking about
Yeah.
like.
Like wasting money on like bigger
Yeah,
cars.
there was this guy at the.
I just wanted you to finish so I could see where you're going with this.
No. I'm
guilty.
talking about like Ferraris,
Okay.
Aston Martins. Like,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
there was a guy at the brokerage that I was at prior, and he had a Ferrari, and I remember my broker telling me like, do not ever show up in that car, and if you do, you need to make sure he like parks like 3 streets over.
Oh, why is that?
Because most people do not want to give a listing to an agent that is driving around a Ferrari.
Why?
I just think it's just I don't know, the
I
principle.
Guess,
it's not a good look.
Okay.
Because it's just not a good look. From my experience.
Okay.
I guess I'm giving advice to young people, like, don't be afraid to drive your shitty car to a listing appointment.
Oh, absolutely. Okay. All right. So, yes, you don't have to have it all figured out to do the things that you need to do.
Right.
That's basically what you're saying. Okay. Got it. That makes sense. And it also kind of depends on where you're from.
Well, and where you're at, like, I can understand if you're like 50 or 60 and you're, you've got all this money and you can show off like, what you've done in life. But like if you're, in your 20s and 30s and you spend all your money in a Ferrari and show up at a listing appointment, it's a bad look.
Especially the ones that get their first sale ever.
Yeah, then they go splurging on a car.
Yeah, but who did Jason did that? He shared his first sale ever. He's like, the first thing I did was buy a super expensive car that I couldn't afford. That just seems to be the story of everyone that gets into real estate the first thing. Not a smart thing to do, guys. Don't be doing that. You got to invest that money, save that money, put it back into your business to build your business if you are new in real estate.
Back in the day when I first gotten my big check, it was right when like Bitcoin was booming, and I put my money into that and I made some good money. Now crypto is back. I don't know if you know.
I don't know anything about that.
It's back.
Yeah. Oh,
it's insane.
Yeah. So crypto is back. I remember when people were buying NFT real estate.
Oh, that's
what was that about?
So
I remember Mark Cuban came out with something and he was like, that's the dumbest thing you could ever do. I'm like, if the billionaire is saying it, I don't know, man. Like, maybe it is. It doesn't make sense to me. How is it going to go up in value?
You don't have land. It's done now.
It's done now, yeah, right? It didn't even last. So what about all those people that just invested into fake property? It's so weird to me. It didn't make sense to me. They lost it all. They lost all the money. The fake what?
Yeah, I know. It was ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. They were buying fake. What's up with NFT? Do you know about that stuff? NFTs? Is that still a thing?
No, it's not a thing anymore.
It's not a thing anymore?
It's not worth anything.
Yeah.
It is, but it's
such a
not
waste
worth
of money. I think what happened is a bunch of rich people got really bored with their money and then decided to just spend it on dumb things, telling the world, you should buy this. I don't know. Well, I thought it was a dumb idea.
Well, I think that they want people to get into like virtual reality.
Yeah.
And buy property virtually, which is very creepy.
It is really creepy, but like, man, I mean, there's so much good that comes out of it, but there's so much bad because at the end of the day, we're still humans. You can't take that away. Like, with buying a property, what are you going to do? Have a robot show you? Like, you have to still have that human connection, that human touch, right? So anyways, we just totally went down a different route, but now I'm glad that we're covering everything.
Mm-hmm.
So you were at Sotheby's.
Yes. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I was at Sotheby's for, I think, like 3 years, and I went to Miami for New Year's with my friends, and I ended up seeing Jason at the One Hotel. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, you can say that. Yeah.
I met Jason at the One Hotel in Miami Beach, and he and a few of like the Selling Sunset cast were there, and I'm like, oh, I want to go introduce myself. I had my like Sotheby's business card.
Did you know about Selling Sunset at this point?
I did, yeah, because I recognized him. And
did you watch the show at this point?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard about it when I was in real estate, but I never really like because I didn't have a TV, so I didn't really watch anything. But go on. Sorry.
No, so I went up to Jason. I was like so scared. I was like so nervous because, he's like a superstar.
Yeah.
So I like go up to him and I give him my card. I'm like, hey, like I'm a real estate agent in Orange County. And he blew me off.
Did he really?
Yeah, he was a dick. And he remembers he was a dick.
Yeah.
And he didn't
Now
take
you're
me
like
he did
his
not
favorite.
he didn't take me seriously.
Yeah.
And sweet Mary pulled me aside and she's like, "Oh, just email Jason. This is his email." Like, she was so sweet.
Oh, I love
and
Mary.
To this day I thank her. And I ended up emailing him like 3 days later. She's like, "Oh, email him 3 days after, because it was New Year's and they're partying." And I email him, and I had no idea they were opening an office in Orange County. I was thinking maybe I would just go to LA and be an agent there if he hired me.
And at this point,
at that time, LA was still normal.
Yeah, it was decent.
So I would consider
I wouldn't
moving.
say LA is normal, but we'll say decent. Don't come after me.
Well, it was like, it was still cool then.
Yeah,
and I would totally move there then. But I emailed him and he's like, "Hey, this is secret, but we are opening an office in Orange County." And I'm like, "Whoa, this is like a godsend." And he's like, "Email me all of your sales in the past, 3 years that I've been in business, or 2 years." Emailed him everything. And it was like I had sold like 60 million in the first 3 years that I was in real estate. And he was like, "Whoa, this is like, you're the real deal." He didn't realize. And he's like, how did you do this?
I mean, I can only imagine like you going up to Jason. Were you like quiet and like?
I was for sure shaking and nervous, and he could tell.
You were like a little awkward.
Oh yeah. Well, I think I gave him my car, and he's like, I said,
you weren't confident.
No, I think I was. I think I was like, "Hey, I'm an agent at Sotheby's, and
Okay,
I'm gonna work for you one day or something."
Oh.
And then I like left. It was like awkward.
Anyways, I can only imagine. Okay. So anyways, go on.
So we ended up meeting after we were emailing back and forth. We met in Newport with Matt, and I was the first agent hired in the OC office.
Office, you were the
Yes.
first agent. I didn't know that.
Yes, I was the first agent hired.
For some reason, I thought Justin was.
No, it was me, Gio, Polly, and then Justin.
Oh, wow. Okay. Anyways, go on. I didn't know that. That's new news for me.
Yeah. So I was the first ever hired, and
You're
I
the
brought
OG.
in, lots of listings and yeah, I am the OG.
Yeah.
So, and I love Jason. I have a lot of respect for him.
Yeah.
I've worked with, brokers in the past, and they're not ethical. They're not honest. And Jason is so ethical, so honest. He wants to help us.
Yeah.
He genuinely wants our success.
Yeah. I feel that too.
And he's I hate to say this, but there's a lot of brokers out there that don't respect women. And
I know.
Jason respects women. And that's why I absolutely love him. Like, he sees a lot in women. And, the past brokerages that I've worked at before, they don't respect women. They just don't.
I know from personal experience as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they won't give a woman a listing or bring them onto a listing because she's a woman. Mm-hmm. That's what has happened. But Jason has, brought me on to listings, and I'm really grateful for that.
I think you're the only one that he's brought on to listings. I'm still waiting, Jason. So whenever I would like to be next. That's awesome. No, Jason's great. We have nothing but great things to say. We're not just saying that because he's our boss. This is my show. I can say whatever I want, but it's the truth. He helped me when I first joined because I was leaving a very good situation. I was making stupid money at my last brokerage. But it's because we had a lead generator, and all
Yeah.
I had to worry about was helping people in closing, and I'm a
Mm-hmm.
closer. Okay. So it was just coming in, and then coming to the Oppenheim group, it was like, nope, you have to work. You have to work to get your listings and your
Yeah.
sales, and we don't have lead generators. We are solo agents. So, but you're killing it per usual. Like
Thank you.
ever since I've known you, you've always done so well. And
Thank you.
now we're door knocking together, but you still do all the hard work that agents are just not willing to put in.
Mm-hmm.
They see that these shows that are on, TV, not just ours, but, you got all the other real estate shows, and it's so glamorized, and people don't see the hard work that goes behind building your business in real estate or just being a
Right.
realtor in general.
Yeah, and in Orange County, it's not Hollywood, it's not LA. So these people, these homeowners, like, they don't care about the show.
Nope. They don't care
They
if
don't
you're
care about
known, if
fame.
you're on TV. Nope. They don't care about that.
They're more old school.
Yeah.
And so it's actually harder for us to
It
get
is.
listings.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope people realize that, like, being on a show is not going to make you a more successful real estate agent, at least in Orange County. Maybe in LA.
So here's a question that I'm sure you get a lot, but for the viewers, did you get tons of calls after our show came out?
No.
No. How many calls did you get?
I got maybe like 1 or 2 emails, but they never fell, or they all fell through. There was never anything. I was working on a $50 million listing for about 2 years. And I was second, like it was another agent and then me that we were, competing with. And it was actually the brokerage that I was with prior. It was my broker that I was competing with to get this listing. And the client, texts me and he's like, hey, if it's working for you, stay, on the show. But like, I'm too old school. I'm sorry, but I'm too old school. I'm gonna have to give the listing to, the other person.
Oh, you've lost listings.
I've lost listings because of, the show. And, some people have been inappropriate on the show. And I think it has reflected badly on, people like you and I, unfortunately.
Yeah, I've lost business too because of it.
And, I don't have that much screen time. So, those people's actions kind of,
it's a reflection of all of us.
It's a reflection of everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm very grateful for the show. I think it was fun. I think I learned a lot about myself. I've grown closer with you. We've been through a lot. We both have seen everybody's true colors, and time heals everything.
Yeah.
And you and I had a conversation a few months ago about how you and I connected right off the bat.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, we knew that we were friends. And then the show happened.
Yeah.
Fake people came along, superficial people came along, got into your head, got into my head.
Yeah.
But now, like, we're best of friends.
I forget we had that moment, because it's also because I'm an extremely forgiving person. When you apologize to me, I'm like, yeah, girl, we're good. Like, and I never remember or hold on to it or grudges. Like, I don't even have room for that. I have enough going on in my life, in my head. But no, absolutely. It's also because, now I'm not saying this to put anyone else down, but it's because you and I do have substance. We come from hardship. We come from challenges. We come from pain. We come from dark times. So that's how I kind of immediately felt the gravitational pull towards you, because I'm like, that girl's eyes, she's been through some shit. Oh, I said, I'm trying not to curse. That's like my goal. But you've been through some stuff. And when you go through things, and I say this all the time, we just have a different set of eyes. You can just tell.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, I right off the bat, you and I connected. And so it was hard for me when everything happened. I know you don't remember, but like, it was hard. It felt like high school all over again, losing a friend, over gossip
Such
and lies
dumb
that
things.
people were spreading. And yeah, but I'm glad that we're at where we're at because I adore you.
Oh, I adore you. Are we having a moment? No, that does mean a lot. And I feel like even in the start, before we even started filming, I feel like we were two completely different people anyways, because there has been so much growth ever since day one.
Yeah.
And but I see the growth in you. I've seen the changes in you, and even the confidence with you is different. Your demeanor when you walk in a room is like, you've grown, and it's just so beautiful.
Thank you.
How do you go from being a newer agent, obviously, depending on where you're at, you guys, if you're in Orange County, then I don't know, like 600,000, 800,000 is probably the average, to go to big, massive luxury, selling luxury real estate.
Right.
For the viewers, what advice would you give to someone that wants to break through that luxury real estate market?
I would just be confident and go straight to the money. Like go to their door, go to that $2.5 million home, go to that $3 million home, like hit the pavement, freaking go to their door. You never know who's going to answer, who's going to respect you when they see you alone fighting for business in this tough market. People respect that. Especially wealthy people, like I said earlier. I mean, they love the hustle. They want to help someone that's hustling. They want to help someone that's still driving that shitty car. It's just the truth. And that's what I think people saw in me when I first started. They saw this young girl, 23 years old, who's, trying to make her bills and still driving her little Toyota Camry, and wanted to make it in the business. And, I door knocked on a house in Huntington Beach. It was, $2.5 million at that time. And, the guy ended up giving me the listing. And I ended up selling it, for it was like 2.9 actually. And that's the advice I could give, is just go straight to the source. If you want to sell a multi-million-dollar listing, go to their door.
I will
and don't be scared.
No, you got to be
because
confident.
the worst thing they're going to do is say no or be a little rude. You don't ever have to see them again, ever.
How do you deal with rejection?
I've been rejected my whole life.
Oh,
constantly.
There you go.
So
exactly.
I have.
Yeah.
From my childhood to high school, I was bullied in school. I've been rejected, in relationships. We've all been through heartache and rejection, and I just think that you just have to count on God. I mean, I think as long as you believe in Him and believe that those people that rejected you are not meant to be in your life, then it's just meant to be. Now, if you don't believe that, I think your life's just going to be chaos. You're going to be sad. But as long as you believe it, it's just meant to be. And God is putting you in the right direction.
Having that faith, working hard. I will add this though to what you just said, and that was really good, is know your stuff, know your area, know your facts. That's what I've noticed with you. Like,
yes, I know you're
like, oh yeah, that person over here, that person over there. And I'm over here like, how does she know that?
Because to be honest with you, I have door knocked probably every single house in Huntington Beach and Newport Beach. And I have probably cold called all of them. I just have over the years. And I remember, who lives there and what, neighborhood. But know your areas. That is the best thing. Or that's the first thing a client is going to notice, is if you know the area.
Right. And when you door knock and you have these conversations with these homeowners, they will give you the tea of the neighborhood, right? They'll tell you like, oh, this person's over here was actually doing this. This person, I think, just put it on the market. They took it off. Might want to check that. So they'll tell you what's going on in the neighborhood. So it is really important to be face-to-face, one-on-one, constantly having those conversations. The more conversations you have, the better, right?
Yes.
Real estate is all about relationships.
Yes.
And you're really, really good at that.
Thank you.
And you know everybody too. I'm just like, what? You just wave to someone on the street walking by with their dog? I'm like, How? But
Hitting
it's
the
because,
pavement. Yeah, just
hitting the
going straight to
pavement.
the
Yeah.
source.
You've been doing it a lot longer than I have. That's for sure. But look, it's paying off. It's working.
Mm-hmm.
Do what works, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Find someone that you look up to. Do what they're doing. And obviously what she's doing is working. It's very easy. And here's the thing. Agents are not willing to do that today.
Yeah.
Their egos are too up there, you know what? And it's just like, they're not doing the work, but you still are. And here's the thing. You don't have to, but you're doing it anyways.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm not, I don't want to just sit and wait for my phone to ring.
Right. Of course.
There's a lot of agents here in Orange County that are big time agents that their names are well known. And we still have to hit the pavement.
Yep.
Those people are in their 40s, 50s, 60s that have been in business for 30 plus
Decades.
years. And unfortunately, they're probably going to get the listing. So we still have to hit the pavement.
But I love what you said that, you basically built calluses from all the rejection that you've gone through in your life. And I think that's really important for people to really pay attention to, because that's what life is all about. You're going to get rejected in every area of your life.
Oh, yeah.
There's no getting around it. There isn't, because if you're not being rejected, you're not living your life. You're not doing anything.
Right. You're not taking any risks.
No.
You
And
have
that's
to
what
take
life
risks.
is all about.
Yeah.
Taking risks. And that's exactly, it sounds based on your story. And I know we didn't get super deep into it, but that's okay. You've taken risks more times than not.
Yeah.
And it's also part of it, I think, is you were kind of backed up in a corner and you're like, I just have to make it work.
Right. You know how many people told me, like, real estate's going to be so hard. Like, you don't realize.
For you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
To you.
It's going to be so hard. Like, you don't realize, how difficult it is to make it. Like, the success rate is like, 7%. Most agents drop out and go do like some corporate job. I kid you not. Most people in my life told me that.
Oh yeah, it's like 80% of people drop out within the first like year or two of their career.
Yeah, and
but
it's true.
Year or two, it's like you didn't even give yourself enough time. You don't start seeing the fruits of your labor probably on your second or third year.
It takes time.
It takes a lot of time.
It takes time.
Yeah.
Unless you grow up in, Newport Beach and you have, a well-to-do family that knows a lot of people.
Yeah.
Which there are those people and they're very blessed.
Yeah.
But if you're brand new, like, better stick it out.
Yep. You have to, because
Otherwise
you're
you'll
going
give
up
up.
against people like that. Exactly.
Yeah. And don't ever listen to people. Most people want you to fail.
Of course they do.
They just do. They don't want to see you succeed. And that alone should give you motivation to prove them wrong.
Yeah.
And I think also that helped me too, is because I wanted to prove these people in my life that always said you won't ever make it, you won't ever succeed. Like I felt like those people helped me.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to prove you wrong. And I did. And I want to continue. I want to be a very successful luxury real estate agent, for the rest of my life. And maybe hopefully one day Jason will allow us to like create a team at the brokerage so that we can have,
Isn't there like little teams in our brokerage though?
Well, like not really, because Jason, like the Oppenheim group is a brokerage, right?
Right.
So we can have a team like, Coldwell Banker. Tim Smith has his team.
Oh, do you think he'll go that route?
I think I've talked to him before about it.
I feel like
And I think it would be really good for our marketing and our name.
Yeah.
Instead of just Oppenheim, it would be the Rose team or the Cardona team.
Yeah. I can see it now. I love that. No, I would love to do that.
Or the Kayla and Rose, or Rose and Kayla team.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Okay.
And I think he will, because he's kind of getting into this notion of like retiring, I think.
You think
soon.
so? I feel like he's just getting started.
I
Because he
think
just opened La Jolla in Cabo.
Yeah, he's opening these offices, but these agents are killing it.
They are killing it.
He doesn't really need to work anymore. And if
That's true.
people call him and give him, their listing, he usually will bring someone on if he doesn't have the time.
Huh. I'm gonna have to bring him in here. Be like, Jason, what's your plan? What's going on? Are you going to stay as a smaller boutique or go bigger?
Well, having a team isn't going to go bigger. It's just better for us to market ourselves better.
Oh, not for him. You don't
Right.
think so? I think it would be. I don't know. I don't know anything. I'm not a broker, so
Well,
I don't know how it works.
Coldwell Banker.
Yeah.
It's the Smith Group.
Right. They
Jim
make a
Smith isn't a broker. It's just his group. And he
right.
has agents under him. So we could have our team and then have agents work in our team.
Right, but Coldwell Banker still makes a percentage off
Yeah.
of all those sales.
Yes.
Right. So I'm just saying, like, the more money obviously we bring, the
Mhm.
more Jason would make.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So that's what I was saying. But we shall see. She's here. Okay. So thank you so much for sharing that. This is so insightful, and I'm sure a lot of people, especially going into real estate for the first time, can take those pointers from you. That's obviously making it happen, and you're killing it. So thank you so much for sharing. Couple more questions just to wrap it up.
Yeah, no,
just due to time.
I wish we had more time.
I know. We'll do another episode for sure, because I do want to kind of go that route. But I think this was really good for people to really get to know who Alexandra Rose is. Just more of your story. That's what this show is all about. Just telling your truth and showing your vulnerability, because there's so much power in that. So last couple questions. If you could give one piece of advice to the viewers about overcoming pain and fear, what would that be?
Overcoming pain and fear. Some advice. I would trust in God and believe that anything that's happening in your life, whether it be pain or fear, just believe that it's meant to be, and like God is putting you in the right direction. And if you don't believe that, then you won't overcome pain or fear. You just have to believe in him and know that whatever is meant to be will be. And that's what I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if you agree.
No,
it's a different take. I know we could go through a lot of advice and you know.
No, that's why I say one piece, because we can go on and on about it, but I completely 100% agree. It's just understanding and knowing that if you want something and it doesn't happen, it's not because God's not trying to bless you. It's because he's trying to protect you. He doesn't want you to go that way. He doesn't want you to go that route. He's protecting you from something that's bigger and better. So having faith in God and knowing that he has a plan, that's what faith is all about.
Yeah. Even
believing
if
and not seeing.
Yeah. Even if the plan isn't the way you want it, it's his plan and you have to believe it. And if you don't, you're not going to overcome that pain or fear. It's just not going to happen. And your life will be chaos. And disappointing.
Agreed. And also, from what I'm hearing, everything that you said today, it's also, I've noticed that you embrace it. You embrace the challenges. You embrace the hardships. You embrace the rejection. You know, when you knock on those doors, you're probably going to get rejected. But you doing and taking the action is embracing that. And that is what builds those calluses. Just like you said, you've been rejected your whole life. You built those calluses. So when you do face those challenges and hardships, it's nothing to you. You're like, I got this. I've been through so much at this point, and it does get easier. I say that all the time. You just have to take action and do it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, sometimes you get jaded, but it's a good thing. You know, I get people that I thought were my clients and then go to somebody else, but I'm like, you know what, whatever. Yeah. It is what it is. It happens all the time. We know that.
All the time. Yeah. So, but still get those contracts signed, okay? Yeah, those buyer contracts, like, make sure they stick with you. 2 last questions and we'll wrap it up. In your definition, what does pain to power mean to you?
I think that pain to power means that going through adversity and unfortunate circumstances should give you ammunition to become a fearless, powerful, ambitious woman or man. I think especially for women. We're very emotional beings, and I think that using those things that have happened in our life can be the most powerful superpower.
Exactly.
So
I love that.
yeah.
I love that. Well, thank you. Really quick, where can everyone, I know where I can find you. I know where you live.
Yeah.
But where can everyone find you? And I'm going to put everything in the description of our episode.
You can find me on Instagram, Alexandra Rose OC.
Woohoo.
And and if you want to buy or sell,
come to me. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. We'll fight.
You can DM me and say that you watched the show, and we
and
can
you got connected.
We can share the listing.
Yeah. Well, it was funny because I had Brandy on the other day, and she was like, "We could co-list," and I'm over here like, "We could fight."
No, we'll co-list, but
no, listen, I'm not for everyone. You're not for vice versa. Like, I get it. It's never, you never take it personal, but yes, DM her.
And email.
What's your email?
Alexandra@ogroup.com.
Boom.
There was a lot of Alexes and Alexandras at the brokerage.
And you are the
I got
OG.
the first Alexandra.
Oh,
I know.
Oh.
Only one that works.
We'll keep that one in. Do you have anything else going on that you want to kind of share with everybody? I don't know.
Yeah.
Anything, because I know you mentioned you're doing something with Orangewood.
Yes, I'm getting involved in Orangewood.
Mm-hmm.
Being a little bit more philosophical with my life right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to want to, talk to the kids about real estate and tell them, like, I don't care if you're in foster care. You should use this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you realize how many people would look up to you?
Mm-hmm.
You would kill it. And so I'm helping with that. I'm going to their luncheon, which I want to invite you. I got a table.
I would love to. Oh, that is just anything that I could do, especially because my story. I used to live in shelters, and anything that I could do to help with our children and the newer generation, and count me in.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. And if you guys, May 30th,
okay.
If you guys are philosophical and, want to donate, I would definitely go to orangewoodfoundation.com. Donate to them. They're a nonprofit. They help all of the youth in Orange County and human trafficking, and it's I think one of the best organizations in Orange County. And they saved my life as a little girl. They really did. If it weren't for them, I would be homeless.
Oh, I love that. We should definitely talk about off camera, but I would love to plan an event or something that we could do for them.
Yes, they want to do a fundraiser. I want to do a fundraiser just for them.
I would love to help if I could.
No, I want to.
Yeah, absolutely. So. Okay, well, thank you so much for being on the show. I'm so excited, and you guys watch out for this one, and then we're gonna have to do a part 2. Yay!
Yeah, we'll
thank
definitely
you.
need to do a part 2.